Good morning. I am Andrea Johnson with Nassari Home Mortgage and an ambassador with the Chamber, and I want to welcome everyone to Main Street Service Center. I'm here today with the owners, Kevin and Lisa Merrill. Congratulations on 35 years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell us about your story.
Well, our story's long, but I'm not going to bore you all with that today. I just want to thank you all so much. Andrea, thank you for being here, and for the Chamber and the representatives from the city and the ambassadors. My folks are here today and have always been a huge support of mine, and I appreciate that very much. It's always good to see good friends, and we are blessed. There's no other word that I can say that about our success in this business, in this industry, other than that we've been blessed. I just wanted to put in perspective, Andrea, if I could.
Yeah.
Back in, there are several of you here today that weren't born in 1989. And I just kind of, I wanted to share with you a few facts about what was going on back then, because that just kind of gives you a better perspective of how long Main Street Service Center has actually been around. For one thing, in 1989, I didn't need these. But did you know that our federal debt at that time was $2,868 billion, as opposed to how many trillion now? Interest rates were about 4.6. Wait a minute, I've got better notes here. Sorry. Ronald Reagan was president up until George Bush was installed in January. How many people can remember Dan Quayle? Mm-hmm. All right. So the Dow Jones high was 2,791. That's changed a little bit. How about, I should have had this in better order. How about the Berlin Fall? The Berlin Wall fell in 1989. The San Francisco earthquake happened that year in '89. And how about Tiananmen Square? What a tragedy that was. And the Exxon Valdez. So there's a lot of you that have only seen or heard or about those things in your history books. But back in 1989, a young kid coming out of the U.S. Navy, serving 4 years, and just absolutely loved being in the Navy, loved being at sea. But whenever Lisa and I got married 2 years into my Navy stint, being at sea was no fun any longer. And so being apart was no fun. And so I decided to get out and went to, I was working at 7-Eleven from 11 at night till 7 in the morning out there where, I don't even know what it's called anymore, but it's out there at the junction of 62, 65 business and yada, yada. It was come and go. And anyway, I was working from 11 at night till 7 in the morning, and I looked in the newspaper and it said gas station for sale. And I thought, well, I've been pumping gas for the last 4 years in the U.S. Navy on an aircraft carrier. Surely I can pump gas at a gas station. And so I went out and talked to Joe Edwards, which is now High Tech. It's out there just north of Walmart on the left-hand side as you're going out of town. It's a bug place. There's spiders on the side of the building. Well, that was Airport Exxon back then. And I went and talked to Joe, and I said, I'm interested in buying your business. And he said, well, we've got to go talk to J.W. Magnus, who owns the building and the property, and he's the one that would sell you gas and so on and so forth. And so we went to talk to J.W. and stood there before his desk, and he looked at me and he says, boy, I don't know why you want to buy that business. You won't be in business in 6 months. And Joe was furious, as you can imagine, right? Here he's trying to sell this business. And I was determined and kind of hard-headed at the time, so that really didn't matter. The thing is trying to find financing. All right, so I know there's a few bankers here, and we appreciate you very much, but bankers wouldn't talk to somebody who didn't have an education or a business background or anything like that. And so fortunately, Lisa's family stepped in and said, we'll loan you the money. And so then went back to JW and said, okay, well, we've got the money. And he said, well, okay, well, I'll rent you the building and I'll come out and put tires and batteries on consignment in a few weeks. A few weeks went by, guess what? No tires, no batteries. So I went back to JW and I said, JW, no tires, no batteries. I said, when can we expect those? And he looked at me and he says, boy, why would I want to bring out tires and batteries and put them on consignment when you won't be in business for 6 months? I walked up to his desk and I pounded my fist on his desk and I said, you listen here, old man. I'm going to be here for a long time, so you just better get used to it. Now, if you know J.W. Magnus, that was kind of a risky move. But I want to tell you this. I wish Mike and Mitch Magnus were here to testify to this, but J.W. reared back in that big old comfy chair that he was sitting in, big old stogie hanging out of his mouth, and he says, boy, we're going to get along just fine. And from that day forward, not only did I have batteries and tires on consignment the very next day, but I had JW's back, and he had mine. We've been so blessed in this business. We've not been perfect. We've made mistakes. But we have done what we feel like God would be honored by. And I want to thank our staff. And we couldn't have done this without Lisa. She's the one that keeps me out of jail. She pays all the taxes and makes sure that all the employees are paid and everything else. But I literally, in 35 years, I told the staff the other day, I told them in less than 10 people in 35 years, I could tell you the employees that have truly, truly made a difference in our business. And I am so blessed to have 3 of them with us right now. And that is not blowing smoke. I'm serious. Jacob, why don't you come on, step up. Axel, please come forward. And Kristen. These 3 right here, even though we are few, we are mighty. And Kristen does such a phenomenal job with our customer service and taking care of things in the office and getting all the parts ordered. And Jacob, our lead tech, just does a phenomenal job in making sure that whenever he does a diagnostics that it's done properly. And you know what? When we make mistakes, we tell the customer, you know what? We made a mistake. And we go back and we do anything in our power to make it right. And Axel is such a blessing. He's from California, y'all. He's a skateboarder, and I have never seen somebody with such a positive attitude. In fact, it's just amazing. I've never had such a great team that we have right now. And a lot of you know that Lisa and I have been blessed for the last 4 years. We've been full-time RVers, and so we're gone a lot. And so we leave it in their hands to take care of our customers. And I'm going to tell you that I think I've gotten 1 customer call while we've been away, and that was not their fault. But Lisa does everything remotely. I do things remotely. I can log in here and take care of business. But anyway, I'm just telling you that you all, our community is in good hands because we service our community. Anyway, I could talk to you all day long and tell you great stories about God, how God has provided. But I'm so blessed that you're here today celebrating with us 35 years. And I am so excited for the future of Main Street Service Center because Main Street Service Center isn't going anywhere. We're here to stay, and we're here to service this community with vehicle repair you can trust since 1989. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Turn it over to Jason.
Gosh, what is there to say after that? That was awesome. I just want to congratulate you, your family, Main Street Service Center. I've been a customer of yours for as long as I can remember. The reason that your customers continue to come back is because of just what you spoke, the honesty, the integrity, the way that you follow the Lord. I think that's all. We respect that, and we appreciate that about you and what you brought to the community. So thank you for that.
Good morning, I'm Donna Bramer representing the city of Harrison, and I do drive a car, and I just get in and drive it, and I expect it to run. And when it starts beeping at me or giving me messages, I call Kevin and his staff. And I appreciate that as a female because I don't want to know how it runs and why it runs. I just want it to run. So I know that they are always going to be honest with me, and I've really enjoyed over the years doing stories on your business. The awards you won in Little Rock from the Better Business Bureau, they just don't pass those out. You have to earn those, and you've earned a lot of respect in our community and in our state. And I'm so glad you're here in Harrison, and glad I can bring my car back anytime it wants to come. Thank you.
All right, Kevin, Lisa, thank you so much for allowing us to celebrate with you here today. I love when we do small business celebrations for a lot of reasons, but one of them is you have the opportunity, you can take the time to shout out your staff. So if y'all would indulge me, could we do another round of applause for you and your team? For 25 years? And when we first met, definitely when we first met, me being back at the Chamber, we talked a little bit about the Boone County Leadership Institute and how you went through in the same class with my father, and we kind of went down some of that storyline about leadership development and small business here in our community. But then you told me that story, the one that you just shared here today about getting started 35 years ago. And so now this is twice, and it gets better every time I hear it. And so I don't know if that's a story that we can record, or I guess we've got it recorded here. So thank you for sharing that. I think it speaks a lot to your determination. And last week we did an entrepreneurship event and got to talking about how students think about entrepreneurship, and they kind of dream about what entrepreneurship might be, and that it's the thing that they can just sit on the couch and just cash the check. And it sure isn't that. Anybody who's tried it for themselves knows that it takes a lot of hard work. Now, maybe one day you get to enjoy the fruits, but it does not come without the hard work and the determination that you exemplified in that story, and to still be here 35 years later. And so congratulations again to you and your team.
Thank you so much. It's just been a privilege for y'all to come out today. I hope that you enjoyed the cake from the cake shop. Miss Robin, thank you so much. And Shane from Connect brought our water today. So if you enjoyed that cold water, thank you so much. And First Federal was the ones who we started with. And I just real quick, but Staff Bank has come in and just been such a blessing to us. And I want to thank Joe Paul for being here, and Scott's here too. Y'all have just been a blessing to us, and so thank you so much for your support and your belief in us, because if it hadn't been for that, I remember those days whenever the bank would call and say, "Kevin, are you making a deposit today?" Just a minute, let me get a hold of my loan officer. So anyway, that's kind of how that went down for several years. But anyway, God is good, and thank you all so much. I really value and appreciate the time that you've taken away from your job and your schedule today to come here and celebrate with us. It really means a lot.
Congratulations again.